Hi, this is Andrew and Heather Robinson from Walla Walla, Washington. We pastor Crazy Love Church, and we're also part of the Impact Nations family. Both Heather and I lead Impact Nations Journeys of Compassion trips, and we want to share something with you that's really on our hearts today.
I've returned to Facebook, and that's because of an assignment from the Lord. I had several dreams that He asked me to return to Facebook and help be a part of pastoring people. And I've discovered that in that returning, there's another assignment that He has for me, and it's to help advocate for the hungry, those that have even greater hunger needs than they did before the crisis started. And before the crisis started, their hunger was great. And I know that personally because I went to Colombia this last January on a journey of compassion. And I went with Carlos and his wife to people that were literally the poorest of the poor. And if I began to get choked up, it's because I hugged people and I held their hands and I heard their stories about their desperate need for food. And so as we continue with this video, I want to encourage you that we get to be a part of feeding the hungry.
We may feel squeezed right now under COVID-19 restrictions, but we're about to experience or potentially experience an imminent hunger crisis around the world. And listening to David Beasley from the World Food Program, I wanted to give you several statistics. Before this COVID-19 crisis, there were about roughly 135 million people around the world that were in crisis levels of hunger or worse. Their updated projections during this pandemic nearly double that to 265 million people. What that means is that famines could take a hold of about 3 dozen countries. Beasley said that for their systems, the way that they feed people, if their systems were to fail, 300,000 people could die daily over a 3-month period. That amounts to about 27 million people. We wanted to share a little bit about Impact Nations, and since this crisis has begun, in March and April, the Impact Nations family has provided over 420,000 meals to starving families and their communities in India, Nepal, Colombia, Uganda, Kenya, and the Philippines.
So we want to invite you to join us by giving to Impact Nations Feeding Program. First of all, it's because Andrew and I have been on journeys of compassion, and we have met several people in the local context who are helping deliver the food. So not only do we have relationship with them, but Impact Nations has relationship with the people that they are giving this money to go and buy the groceries. And second of all, it's because every single dollar that is given to the feeding program in Impact Nations is given to the poor. They immediately are able to go and buy groceries and deliver this food to the poorest of the poor. So you'll find the link in this post as well as in the comments, and it's also going to be on our webpage. And you know, as sad as I am and as much of a crisis as we are in, there's also such a stirring in my heart that we can come together as a global family and be a part of feeding the poor. Thank you.